Congratulations, Dr. Laronde. I will now ask you to address Convocation.
Miigwech Nyawe. Wow, how exciting for everyone to graduate today. My name is Sandra Laronde, and I'm from the Tumigman Anishinaabe, the people of the Deep Water in Temagami, Ontario. I would like to thank and acknowledge Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the graduating class, ladies and gentlemen, and elders. I would also like to recognize my family that is here and the territory on which we stand, Anishinaabe territory, and all the past, present, and future people of this territory. Trent University has always been a very special place to me. Ever since I've been going to university and moved to Toronto, I've often made trips to Trent for the professors that are here, to listen to the elders, to come to elders' gatherings, to meet with fellow colleagues and peers, and particularly to learn more about Indigenous worldview and Indigenous thought, for which I am very grateful for the Trent University, because it has inspired my way of thinking deeply. So I want to say thank you to Trent for that. I woke up this morning and looked at the beautiful Otonabee River here, and you know the shimmer that's on that water, and the shimmer that is in all of nature, in the leaves and trees, on the water, everywhere. It always makes me think about potential, and ultimately our potential as human beings. And to come from a world that is spirit-centered, so that the Otonabee River has a spirit as well. It's alive, it's glistening, it's beautiful, it's moving like we are. And I think we're at a time now that actually is very much in line with Indigenous thinking, which is to come from a place of spirit-centeredness in terms of thinking, not only just human-centeredness. And that thinking no longer is just cause and effect and linear anymore, but it is more web-like, more connected up to all things in nature, to one another, across continents, across generations, across races, genders. And you know, I think one of the most profound things that an elder said to me, and it wasn't actually, it's in action, so you have to watch. So you and I, well, we do actions together here too. And he said that life's journey is this, he said. Heart to the mind and back to the heart. And that said so much about what our journey is and what an extraordinary journey we have. And there was, as Professor David Newhouse mentioned, he talked about imagination. And I believe imagination is the muscle for compassion. Imagination is the muscle to flex, to have compassion for other people, for other countries, for animal life, for plant life, for the water, for all living things, for all things that are sentient. And I was asked one time what is, and Dr. Tom Jackson reminded me of this when he was speaking earlier. They asked, so what do you think leadership is? And if I was to ask you that, what do you think leadership is? It's such a good question. And, you know, I think the answer for me lies in a round dance. And do any of you know what a round dance is? The graduating class? Of course, right? So the round dance is that beat. And so I was asked by a group, they said, well, why don't you, because I was always the second singer, and they said, well, why don't you be the lead singer? And I said, no, I can't be the lead singer. I don't want to be out there on my own. And they said, well, how are you thinking about being a lead? And I said, well, that I'm out there on my own. And they said, well, no, your job is to bring in everyone else. And that's the definition of leadership. And it's right there in our round dance music. So simple, so sophisticated, and so pithy and essential. And of course, leadership is about the business of hope. Leadership is about the business of hope. And lastly, I just want to say, I was a runner. I was in track and field from the age of a very young age, and I used to sprint and I used to run long distance. And when we were in theater, there was a person who couldn't run. For some reason, she couldn't run, and she would get tired very, very quickly. So my job was at 5 o'clock in the morning was to take this person out and teach her how to run. Now, of course, she could move her legs and she could run, but she'd get extremely exhausted very quickly. So we would run every morning. I would take her out, and I would be the lead run, and people would come and run behind me, and that was my job in the morning in theater. And she would get really, and she would be lag behind, and then I would go back, and then I would take her out running with me, just a normal run. And then I noticed where her focus was. I said, you can't, when you run, you can't just look right in front of you, like down and in front of you. You actually have to keep your eye on the horizon. You have to look out and look further beyond the distance that you are traveling. And that way you won't get tired. So when you run this time, keep your eye to the horizon, on the sunset, on the sunrise, when you run, and look there. And when we did that was the first time that she made the distance, because she didn't look just down in front of her and only in her very limited field of vision, but she looked further, and then that's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us to never give up. Never give up on your dreams, and keep them there in the distance. And they say that even by reaching for the stars, just by the very fact that we reach, we're already that closer to our dreams and to the stars. And I'm so proud of you all. And I'm so proud of the Trent University for honoring me. I'm very humbled by that. Miigwech. Thank you.